In my never-ending quest to drink the best wines with the best experts, I found myself back in Stockholm, where I met with Alex Bäckman, sommelier, manager, and owner of the critically acclaimed and immensely popular Nook Restaurang. All right, Alex, nice to be here with you at Nook Restaurang.
Nice to have you.
I understand that you worked until, 3:30 last night?
About, yeah.
And now it's 2 p.m. and we're about to start things really well with something really lovely, I believe.
I hope so.
And what is it you have chosen for us today?
We have a bottle of Barolo from Fratelli Barale Canubi 05 Riserva.
And this was an 05, and it's the year right after the legendary 04 year, actually. And you're quite a fan of Piemonte wines as well, right?
I love Piemonte.
And why is that?
Well, it brings everything to a wine that I want. It has power, it has lovely elegance, luscious fruits, totally changes throughout its life. Young, harsh, big, bold, to almost Burgundy-like elegance in its heyday. And the traditional Barolos reminds me quite a lot of Burgundy, yes.
What do you mean when you say traditional Barolo? What's the difference between a modern Barolo and a traditional Barolo?
Obviously making of the wine, but extraction, use of oak, more elegant fruit, fresher acidities, not too big, bold.
And this one is a traditional one?
This one is a traditional Barolo.
So please, I would love fill her up.
Certainly.
All right, the color is immediately, it's almost like a light Brunello, but it's terracotta almost, reddish. Classic Piemonte. How do you feel the smell?
I'm happy.
Now describe it to me, you're the sommelier.
Lovely, elegant, notes of a mature wine. Perfume.
Lilies, almost.
Perfume, flowery.
Cherries.
Classic end of a bit of licorice spiciness.
We can't wait, we have to taste this baby, right?
Cheers.
Cheers. To Sergio, because he's the winemaker. Sergio.
Lots of cherries.
It's like drinking a Cuban Cohiba cigar with cherries.
Length. Huge structure.
Lovely.
Loads of tannins, but still silky, smooth, not harsh, aggressive.
This is like, you know, in northern Italy, it's where all the beautiful fashion comes from. It's where the elegance comes from. It's where kids wear like real shoes when they're 2 years old, walking the streets. They have scarves. They're elegant, and this is their wine. This is the wine this region produces, and it perfectly mirrors that class which Italians have. Is how I feel about it. Such an elegant, beautiful wine.
I have to concur. Obviously, it's elegant. It's beautiful. It's just sit down, relax, focus, and have a nice glass of wine. It's a contemplation wine.
Nook Restaurant you have how many wines do you have here?
About 250 on the list, yeah.
250 wines, and it's not like the biggest restaurant in Stockholm exactly.
No, we're quite small. It's 46 seats.
I would say that 46 seats contra 250 wines, you probably have some kind of ratio that's very interesting there compared to other restaurants, I assume.
It's an addiction.
Right, and it's an addiction.
Yeah.
It's your addiction.
It's my addiction.
Okay, I see. My question is, you have 250 wines. What dish would you pair this with on Nook?
Lighter meats, poultry, sweetbreads. You need some cream or butter on the plate, creamy textures to deal with the quite high acidity and the tannins, but not too powerful, not big, bold meat dishes. It will work, but I prefer the lighter style because of the elegance. But to me, Fratelli Barale produces really nice wines. It's still family owned, a nice little winery. I believe they own about 20 hectares of land. They probably have contracts for a bit more. Been doing this since 1870, I think.
Wow.
But it's still kind of a...
Same family since 1870?
Same family as 1870. In the beginning it was connected to Rinaldi.
Okay.
So it was Barale Rinaldi, but that was like 120 years ago.
Which is nothing in Italian history of wine. I mean,
No.
Antinoi's has been around for since the 11th century.
11th century, yeah.
But okay, it's still old.
Still old. It's not the most common brand. It's a bit of an underdog, but they produce lovely stuff.
Right, okay.
My idea of wine is mature is always, I'd rather drink a mature wine than a super big label of a wine that's too young.
Right.
Peak is super
best.
important.
Yeah. And this is peak right now, I suppose. And I think we could have held it a couple of more years, actually.
I think it's lovely now. I think it's peak, and I would say it'll keep for another 5 to 7 years.
Okay, great. Do you think this is a wine that brings good value for money? It costs about $90.
Canubi, obviously being Canubi, that famous vineyard, will always drive the price up. $90, Barolo Canubi, 05 mature, super affordable.
And very price-worthy.
Price-worthy, compared to a semi-decent Napa cab.
Right, okay.
You'll pay $90 for that.
Yes, Napa is quite expensive.
Really expensive.
Yeah. But they have nice bottles.
And heavy.
Heavy bottles. Very heavy bottles. This one is more like a traditional design, and we kind of like that, you know. It's like a no-nonsense Italian wine.
It's just classic.
It just says what it is.
And when you taste the wine, I'd say that the label is really, it's really correct to what you have in the glass. Elegant, classic, no nonsense.
Exactly.
Licorice is really popping out.
A good wine is a wine that says, have another sip.
Yeah, that's one of the most important things in wine.
You're having bigger sips than me.
I really need another sip because
another
it's
third.
lovely. Nebbiolo, the cloudy grape on the slopes of Piemonte. Well, the first thing you always hear about Nebbiolo is, oh, it's so pale.
Right?
Because in Sweden, apparently, we like to drink dark, thick, sweet, fruity wines. But this is so pale. It has a paler color. Always a good tannin structure, high acidity, reddish fruit with bunches of perfume, licorice we spoke about, lilies you said, violets, keeps for ages, hence the acidity and the tannin structure. And you can produce quite different wines. We spoke earlier about the modern and the traditional Barolos, where the modern Barolos usually has slightly less or smoother tannins, but a lot more fruit. You don't have to drink Barolo Canubi every day. You can drink Nebbiolo.
Because I still think it's strange, because I mean the Cabernet or the Merlot, and I mean these have been made all over the place, and they have high quality wines from the States or from Australia or South Africa with all these kind of grape varieties, just as they have in France. But none can reach the same quality when it comes to Nebbiolo as Piemonte can.
It's extremely specific to the altitude, to the cool climate, because it's really cold in Piemonte.
Yeah.
You have the warm summers, but
Then we should do Nebbiolo here in Sweden.
no, we shouldn't do wine in Sweden. No.
Have you had any Swedish wines?
Should we keep talking about Piemonte?
Alex, I think you're a smooth talker, but you're a pretty lousy drinker. So I think we should at least have another big sip of this delicious, lovely. I mean, this is like a young Marcello Mastroianni in a tuxedo. I don't know why I'm saying that.
That's a nice comparison.
He was a good-looking, stylish guy, after all. So,
Cheers.
cheers. Now it's a lot silkier, smoother, still dry. You still got that grip on your tongue.
There's a minerality that's popping up.
Yes.
Huge minerality. It's a really nice wine, isn't it?
It is a very nice wine. Alex, thank you so much for having me here at your beautiful restaurant, Nook, drinking this delicious Italian wine.
Thank you. Pleasure having you.
Chin chin. Thank you for watching this episode. If you want to see more, subscribe to my YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, and follow me on Instagram. Christian, come here. Try it. Here, you can help me out here, please. Chop, chop. Chop, chop, chop.
There you go, sir.
So what is this wine?
It's a Barolo Canubi. Fratelli Barale.
Canubi, 2005. 100% Nebbiolo.
Come on.
Guys, it's horrible, really. I'm gonna go behind the camera again.
Like my friend in Denmark said, more for us then.
Youth today.
Youth today, millennials.